What beautiful deep eyes, Anna thought, but then scolded herself. I shouldn't get distracted. She smiled flatteringly and said, If you sell that bracelet to me, I'll return it to you in installments. How about that? I really hate women who pretend. Oliver shook Anna's hand off and pushed her away. Anna's back hit the cold wall. It hurt badly. You must really dislike me, she thought. For Rara, you're willing to spend 5 million. All right then. You're rich and a willful man. She paused for a moment and then continued in disdain. But I can still say what I think. You're being stupid. Anna believed that only a man who had been born into fortune would spend so much money just to please a woman. She turned around angrily and made a way to leave. She'd only taken a step when Oliver grabbed her by the wrist. How dare you speak to me like that? The gloomy look in Oliver's eyes reminded Anna that he was not someone to be trifled with. Oh, I'm sorry, she smiled innocently and asked. But aren't you being a little stupid? You're asking for trouble! A cold gaze appeared on Oliver's handsome face. He thought that it was a long time since he'd met such a reckless woman. Then he seemed to smile, and Anna suddenly had a bad feeling. Throw her out! He shouted to the bodyguard. Anna was instantly lifted up by a strong man who stood nearby. Hey, you bastard! You have no right to throw me out! She protested, but no one listened. The next thing she knew was that she was being pushed out of the door. She fell heavily onto the floor and felt as if her bones were about to break. Every little muscle in her body ached. She felt both defeated and angry, but she thought that one day she would get back what belonged to her mother. She would make this rich dad's son apologize to her. Her knees and feet hurt as she walked, and her clothes were filthy. Yet Anna somehow managed to return to the rented house and immediately started looking for some medication. She remembered that she had a tube of pain relief cream in the bathroom. However, her hands could not reach the small of her back. It hurt so much that tears were streaming down her face. This unrelenting helplessness was similar to how she felt 10 years earlier, when she'd silently given birth to her sons. Anna sniffled and put the cream aside. Just then, the twins appeared in front of her. Why are you crying? You look really ugly when you cry, Mom, Liam said in disgust and crossed his arms. Fine. If you think I look so ugly, don't look at me. Anna saw her son's face and became even angrier. You only know how to cry, Mom. Why don't you ever fight back? Noah continued, leisurely chewing on his potato chips as he spoke. I can't beat up people. What am I supposed to do, huh? If I'm hurting, why can't I cry? Anna pulled up the blanket around her and said angrily, You heartless little things. Do you ever feel sorry for me? Mom, I know it was you that smashed my piggy bank without asking me. That was my first gift from you. Noah threw away the potato chips that he hadn't finished and ran away looking hurt. Anna was shocked and immediately sat up on the bed. She had forgotten that the first gift she had given Noah was this small little piggy bank. She looked at it before going to the auction house, feeling the weight of it in her hand. She figured there must be quite a lot of money inside. Leaving in a hurry, she decided to break it. She had never expected Noah to react so emotionally. She wondered whether he was angry because his money was gone or because he lost the only gift he'd ever received from her. Should I apologize? She asked herself. Mom, I know that you also stole the money from under my pillow, Liam said affirmatively. I wanted to call the police and get you arrested, but you're crying, so I'll let it go this time. Oh, wow, thank you so much, she replied sarcastically. She felt that she had failed as a mother as well. Well, maybe I should call the police to arrest you, Liam said hesitantly. Maybe this way Dad will recognize you and take me and Noah home. Liam, why? I'm not angry at you, so just stop acting out, okay? Anna was actually starting to lose her temper now. Don't talk like that, or I won't help you with the cream. Liam held the medication in his small hand and gently rubbed it on her back. He looked as if he wanted to say something else, but in the end, he didn't. Liam, tell Mama why you're being so nice. Anna was touched, but also on her guard. She always felt that Liam wouldn't be kind to her for no reason. It wasn't as simple as that. I'm only 9 years old. What could I ever do to you? Liam's mouth twitched. He thought his mother was being quite unfair. Oh, my Liam is actually such a kind boy. Holding him in her arms, Anna cried and laughed. She was quite touched. And yet her son looked like that man at the auction house. She had already seen a ghost. Thinking about this matter made her uneasy, and she had trouble falling asleep that night. The following morning, she woke up very early. After having breakfast with her 2 sons, she would drive them to school. Everything was going well. But suddenly, just as they were going through an intersection, a car crashed into them. Anna couldn't believe just how unlucky she was. She had just bought this car, too. Liam, I'm scared! Noah hid in his brother's arms. Don't be afraid. It's okay now. Liam stroked his brother's back. There was a hint of displeasure on his face. Anna looked out her window and was surprised to see a luxury car. She didn't realize what had happened until she heard someone crying outside the window. Oliver! I've liked you for so many years, but now you want to marry another woman? What am I supposed to do? A beautiful young woman dressed in fashionable clothes stood in front of the luxury car, but Anna didn't recognize her. Everyone knew that Oliver and Rada's wedding day was approaching quickly. Surely this unknown woman was just being silly. Oliver. Oliver. Anna kept repeating the name in her head. She seemed to have heard it somewhere before. Then suddenly she remembered. Oh no, isn't he the same guy that threw me out yesterday? Miss Rogers, the CEO is in quite a bit of hurry this morning. He must attend a meeting. You come from an important family. Don't forget that. You ought to go back home. The driver stuck out his head and tried to calm the woman down. Oliver, if you don't agree to marry me, I'm not just gonna leave. The woman was making a scene, yet the man in the back seat didn't even care to show up. Apparently, she was the only one to whom it was important. No one seemed to pay any attention to Anna, who felt she couldn't just keep watching this show. Not wanting to be recognized, she covered her face with her hand and got out of the car. She walked to the other side of the road and used her phone to take pictures of the license plate of the luxury car. She looked at the driver and said, Well, hey, you're the one who caused the accident. The driver turned to the man behind him as if he'd just come back to his senses. Mr. Stan, it appears we've hit someone. Only now did the back window open. A handsome face of a man appeared there. He pursed his sexy, thin lips without saying a word. Women passing by were all complimenting his looks. Oh, wow, what a handsome man, one said. Another remarked, Oh, if I could have such a man, I'd be so happy. Anna didn't understand why they would say so. She would never want a man with such cold eyes. Why are you covering your face? The man finally spoke to her. He wasn't used to women behaving that way. His voice was very pleasant. If they hadn't met before, he would probably make a good impression on Anna. Unfortunately, these were just appearances. Your car hit mine. I want to discuss the matter of compensation. Anna wondered how old the gentleman was as she watched him pass her a business card. Look, I'm not stupid. I want your private number. After all, this traffic accident was your fault. I don't want to call your office and not be able to find you, Anna said firmly. Oliver's eyes flashed as he gave Anna another card. This is my private number. You can call me anytime. Let me remind you again that you're fully responsible for this accident. I'll get back to you regarding the compensation. After that, Anna returned to the car. She considered it lucky that he hadn't recognized her. She was just about to start her car when she heard someone scream, "Oh my God, he's going to kill me!" Anna hurriedly looked out the window once again. Liam and Noah also looked over curiously. They saw the luxury car suddenly start and drive straight toward the woman who had made the scene before. The front of the car almost hit the woman's knee. She jumped aside and let out a scream. Instead of stopping, the car sped up and brushed past the woman's shoulder bag. She was so scared that she threw the bag away. Her legs were weak, and she fell to the ground. However, the car continued to speed up. The other cars behind the luxury one also accelerated and left in an extremely arrogant manner. The passers-by seemed to sympathize with the woman. That man is so cruel. How could he ignore such a beautiful woman? One remarked. He could have run her over, another said. Just because he's rich, he thinks he can do anything, a third stated. The woman didn't listen to a single word. Her name was Susie Rogers, and she was dead set on marrying Oliver Stan. Anna started her car and continued driving. Just as she turned right, she passed the luxury car again. This caught her off guard, and she looked left, straight into Oliver's eyes, which made him momentarily lose focus. Anna hurriedly lowered her head, and her heart panicked for a moment. He couldn't have recognized me, surely. I hope. Anna didn't want Oliver to misunderstand. She didn't want him to think that she would use this relationship to become a celebrity. No one would expect such an expensive car to crash straight into a cheap Fiat. Although it hadn't been a serious collision, only the front of Anna's car was completely dented. Still, she wasn't planning to use this situation to her advantage. Just then, they arrived at the entrance of Wisdom Star Elementary, and Anna stopped her car. Wait for me after school and don't go running around, okay? Although her sons were very smart, Anna preferred to keep on reminding them not to run away. We know. Bye, Mom, they replied in chorus, getting out of the car. Seeing their mother leave, Noah hurriedly pulled his brother to the side and whispered, Liam, I think the handsome guy we just met just now could be our dad. He looks just like us. He doesn't seem to care about us, and I don't like him at all. Mom doesn't like him either. Liam shook his head in disdain. If we're his sons, he'd definitely love us. Noah pouted, but he was confused. No, it's just that Mom's stupid. How could he not like her if she gave birth to us? I think there must be some conflict between them. Liam looked gloomy. Maybe it was him who made her cry last night. Or maybe it wasn't, Noah said and added excitedly, Liam, he could be our father. We should go find him, okay? No. Liam rejected the offer decisively. Liam, I want to have a dad. Don't you want to have a dad? Noah asked, puzzled. They were twins, so they could understand each other without even words. Do you really want to find him? Liam frowned. Of course! Noah winked. And Dad's so rich. I want to find him so no one bullies Mom in the future. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Liam finally agreed. But do you know where he lives? Noah asked in distress. Look, I've got his business card. It has the address of the place he works at. Liam had taken the card from Anna's handbag when he got out. It won't be too difficult to find him. Wow, you're amazing! Noah clapped his hands excitedly. His brother was his hero. The very thought of meeting his dad soon made him very cheerful. They saw a taxi approaching and summoned it to stop. "Excuse me, do you know where this is?" Liam showed the business card to the driver. "Of course I know. It's the tallest building here. Why do you want to go there?" the driver asked in surprise. "It's a secret," Noah replied, and then laughed. "Okay, I'll tell you. We're gonna find our dad. We want to surprise him." "Oh yeah, your dad works there?" "You must be loaded," the driver answered with a smile. "Of course. My dad's the best man in the world." In Noah's little world, the man who had never shown up was still an absolute hero. It was just that his mom was too stupid to notice, and she had accidentally lost his dad. A few minutes later, the taxi arrived at the Klitz office and pulled over. The driver smiled and said, "All right, you kids, go on in and find your dad." "Thank you." Liam paid the man and led his brother to the glass door. This building was the symbol of the city. It was so dazzling that people couldn't even look at it without squinting their eyes. Noah admired the glass door, which was so perfect that it could almost be used as a mirror. After tidying up his appearance, he felt that he was very cute. Liam also slightly smoothed his hair. He was very satisfied with himself. He was still as handsome as before. "Okay, let's go in." "Hey kids, this isn't the place for you to play. Hurry up and leave." The security guard at the door stopped them. "But this is where our dad works. We're here to find him," Noah said unhappily as he puffed his cheeks. "Oh yeah? Who's your dad?" For some reason, the security guard seemed to believe their words. "Oh, it's him!" Noah quickly took the business card from his brother and showed it to the man.
Did you like this story? You can listen to thousands of such stories on the Pocket FM app. You can download the app now. Click on this icon on your screen, or click the drop-down icon right beside the video title. Or search for Pocket FM on the App Store on your iPhone. Now tap the Get button on your iPhone to install the app. Join millions of other listeners on the Pocket FM app and discover thousands of riveting stories today.